Hello and welcome to Oakland A's UK. I'm Matt Smith and this is a short impromptu video inspired by the delivery of Baseball Forecaster. So this is a really good fantasy baseball guide. I'm sure you've heard it before. I thought I'd follow up on the two videos I've done so far this week looking at the A's off season by having a look and seeing what these guys think about the fantasy baseball prospects of our newcomers. So let's have a look. We'll start with the good news, and the forecaster guys are as positive about Jerickson profile as I am. So one thing they do in a forecaster is not only give the full season stats, but for the previous season they break it down into first half and second half too. And one thing they mention in profiles player capsule is they note that it got better as the season went on, which when you think that he's been coming back from injuries, with this being his first kind of full season, you might have thought he would wear down a bit as the season went on, but you didn't see that with profile last year. So that bodes well. That's what they say here. The fact that it got better as the season went along bodes well for more growth layers. So good news to start with. When it comes to Chris Herrmann, no surprise really that he doesn't get a main write-up in the main section, but he is included in the kind of line-out section, as you can see here. And they do in fact make a comment about him that he is a player who could provide some short-term pop for people who are, as they put it, dredging through the catcher pool. Now, I think the thing from an A's point of view to note is that not only is Herrmann in the kind of extras bit at the back, but so is Josh Phegley. Now, much as I want both of those guys to have a really good season this year, and much as I'm excited about Sean Murphy coming up, the more I think about it, the more I think about the challenge of taking on the Astros in the AL West this year, the more I feel that I'm not sure that's really going to be good enough at catcher, and we could really do with upgrading that position. Now, John Heyman, the reporter, mentioned on Thursday that the A's were interested in Matt Wieters, and that would be a good signing if we can make it happen. So fingers crossed that the A's can upgrade at that position and really make an impact, because we're going to need it if we're going to keep up with the Astros this year. On the pitching front, well, it's no real surprise that both Marco Estrada and Mike Fiers aren't too high up in the priority list of fantasy baseball players. With Estrada, they do mention a few positives, although they focus, of course, on his back woes last year, his injury concerns. However, the final comment says, when extreme fly ballers start to get hit hard, end is near, if not already here. Let's hope that doesn't prove true for Estrada this season. Mike Fiers is across the page in his book, and it starts off really well. Every once in a while, a player posts a rebound season fully supported by underlying skills with no luck whatsoever. Sounds good. This is not one of those cases. Oh. Not too keen on Fiers then, although this of course is in a fantasy baseball context. He may still, and I think he will still, provide some value to the A's in real world baseball, but from a fantasy baseball point of view, you're going to be in fairly deep American League only competition if you're going too far after Mike Fiers, I suspect. Finally, with Joaquin Soria, let's start off by mentioning he had a rare mid-30s skill bump, which is a good start, isn't it? However, one thing they point out, and that really is striking when you look at his stats on here, is his ground ball percentage. So in 2016, of his batted balls, ground balls accounted for 50%. 2017, ground balls accounted for 55%, but last year it plummeted down to 36%. So that is a concern from a fantasy baseball perspective, and is something they really pick up on here in a forecaster. However, this was written before they knew he'd signed for the A's. And when you look at Soria, you look at Fiers, you look at Estrada, it's no coincidence that there is a common theme among those three players. It's something the A's front office have done before, and it all comes back to considering park factors, all comes back to considering what the Coliseum is like for pitchers. It's potentially a source of opportunity for the A's when you look at extreme fly ball pitchers, that may be something that shouldn't hurt pitchers in Oakland quite so much as it may hurt them in other ballparks. So it's an area where the A's can often find some value in pitchers, and hopefully that's the case for these three guys here. So there we go, that's a quick look at those five players as per Baseball Forecaster. which is a really good fantasy baseball book. I say that as somebody who isn't a huge fantasy baseball player, and to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I invest in something like this. You get the benefit of some really good, dedicated, talented experts in the fantasy baseball world, which is great to tap into as somebody who is in no way an expert or particularly dedicated, to be honest, in fantasy baseball terms. But yeah, really good book, this one, well worth buying. I also buy the Baseball Prospectus Annual too. I've been buying that every year since 2005, so I'll be picking up a copy of that later in February and maybe doing a quick review or having a look at that in a future video. Okay, so there we go. If you're like me, you deliberately don't draft any A's players because you fear you may tempt fate. So how Fires, Estrada, Soria, people like that get on in fantasy baseball this year hopefully won't be too much of a concern. So long as they do well in real world baseball, that's all that matters to us. I'm Matt Smith, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Oakland AUK, and keep following along here on our Oakland A's UK YouTube channel.